Okay, once you're done with system timing, the next phase is going to be setting up video levels. You want to make sure that the sync replacement switch is in the on position, and you're going to recalibrate the scope. First thing you're going to do is be on the waveform monitor. You're going to go from input B to input A. Make sure external sync is still on. You're going to go down to the filter section. Make sure you're on IRE. Sweep 1.3 and 2.4 on the field. Make sure DC rest is on. All of the other buttons on this waveform should be off. And then you're going to take off the magnify 1 microsecond so that you now have two fields. Next thing you're going to do is to calibrate the scope. You're going to take the horizontal blanking level and you're going to proceed to put that on 0. Take the horizontal blanking level, put that on 0. Okay? Then once you do that, the sync pulse will drop down to a -40. You're going to go to vector scope. You're going to make sure that your phase is on the 180 at 75%. Make sure that the center of your trace remains in the middle. If not, readjust with the vertical and horizontal controls on the side of the scope. Once you do that, the scope is now calibrated for video levels. Go back to waveform. Make sure you're in IRE. And then set video levels for your VTRs using the time-based correctors. Okay, we have 2 dual units, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5. To do video levels for those VTRs, we're using the time-based correctors, TBCs. We're going to follow the directions on each time-based corrector for that VTR. VTR1 on this time-based corrector is unit 1. So we make sure that under units, we're selected under unit 1. And we're going to go over to the input setting. We're going to make sure we're on VHS. All right. We're going to go in the other room, put the bars tape into VTR1, push the tape, verify the tape is playing. Okay. Then we're going to come over to the switcher, and we're going to come off bars, which we were on in order to calibrate the scope. We were on bars, which is house sync number 10. We're going to find VTR1, it's labeled on top. VTR1 is in number 5 on the switcher. We're going to press both program and preview. Verify that the tape is running. Then we're going to set the video levels starting with black. We're going to do black, video, chroma, and hue. On the black, we're going to push the number, adjust the wheel here on the time-based corrector, or if it has its own control, we're going to adjust that control. And this time-based corrector says setup, and we all know that setup and black are the same thing. So we're going to set that up. Black level at 7.5 on the vector scope. Okay. The area that we're looking at, you know what, hold this thing. Probably have to run a tape. So I'm just going to run one. And they're all going to, just say they're all done the same way. So we take the bars tape and we place it into the VTR. We press play on the VTR. Make sure that it's running. Verify it's playing. Then we come over to the switcher and we punch up VTR1 on the switcher, both program and preview. Then we can see the information on the waveform monitor. We come over to the time-based corrector for that VTR. Push the button that says black, and we look at our plugage area here. Has 3 steps: 0, 7.5, and 10 IRE. We're going to place 7.5 right on the dashed line here by turning the control on the time-based corrector. And we set that on 7.5. That will be our middle step, which is 1, 2, number 2 right there between the 0 and 10 IRE. Goes on 7.5, which is our setup level. Okay? Once that's done, we're going to go to the video control or button, push that button on the time-based corrector. Now we're going to set our 100 IRE setting up here, which is the top part of the trace there, and we're going to adjust that until we get 100 IRE or it starts to clip. If you don't want it to clip, we bring it down below the clip and set our 100 IRE. Now we're going to go to the scope. We're going to go from waveform to vector. Turn up the intensity a little bit. Now what we're going to do is set the chroma information. We're going to come over to time-based corrector, push chroma. We're going to adjust the saturation of the chroma so we get it up in the area there of our boxes on the vector scope. We're going to adjust the hue so that we dial those vectors in as close as possible into the center of the boxes here in the crosshairs, which would be right there on each one of these. Okay, so we turn the trace back up. We dial those in using the hue, keeping an eye on our Q and the I and the Q. They need to be in their respective areas as well. And if need be, we'll compromise to get the best correction of the vectors and the I and the Q. Once you've done that on VTR1, you proceed to do that to all of the other video sources, VTRs that you have in the system, using the appropriate time-based corrector for each one. Okay? Time-based correctors do the same thing. They may look different, but they have the same controls on them. Some may say setup, some may say black, some may say pedestal, whatever. You use the proper control.